We have author Edgardo Gonzales. His story is one of hope and perseverance, and he's here today to discuss his autobiography, Somebody Believes, and how the generosity of sponsors led him to a life dedicated to inspiring others. Well, thank you, and Edgardo, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to share about your book, Somebody Believes, because it's about exactly what we were talking about, that, right? Where it seemed against
Yeah,
all odds, and yet you've seen God do incredible things in your life. So in this book, Somebody Believes, you describe growing up in the poverty-stricken district of Tondo in
yeah,
Manila. If I'm saying that wrong, you can correct me, but
yeah. You're good. You're good.
and you were one of 10 children. So you talk a lot about how you've overcome through Jesus. Can you tell us how your upbringing and being brought up in this poverty-stricken district shaped your life and your future?
Yeah, no problem. So first of all, thanks for having me. Time and again, actually, people ask me, what is it like to grow up in that area or grow up as a sponsored child? And now that I have, I'm almost 60 years old right now, I realized that because I was once a sponsored child, it is easy for me to believe that no matter what happens in this broken world, there will always be good people. And that helped me shape, my whatever I am right now. And that's the power of believing.
That's good. And, as I was reading your book, there's pictures, there's
Yeah,
stories. I loved reading the stories and seeing the pictures, right? Because it connects us to you. So what
indeed.
really inspired you to write Somebody Believes? And can you share the main theme or message of the book to our viewers?
Sure. Let me begin by saying that I was first inspired to share this message of hope and inspiration when I first joined World Vision 17 years ago. As a former sponsored child myself and now working in this area, it's actually really empowering. And I've seen how this transformational work of World Vision has impacted so many children, families, and communities that we seek to serve. It actually gave me so much joy to really share this message of hope and inspiration and to tell people that World Vision has not only given me bread, shoes, or toys, but hope, self respect, and inspiration to be the person God wants me to be. And incidentally, what really inspired me to write this book is actually it was Who, because it was Fred Penner. Fred Penner wrote a song after hearing me share my story many years ago. He wrote the song called Somebody Believes. And it dawned to me that, wow, this is basically what I'm waiting for. If Fred will allow me to use the title of his song as the title of the book, then I will take it as a yes. And the rest was history, of course.
That's awesome. Yeah, right on the front book, it says, Edgardo knows the power of that phrase and will be repeating it for as long as he lives. Somebody believes in me. Such a powerful
Oh, yeah.
statement when you can really believe that and live that out in your life as you've described in your journey.
Yeah. And Emily, if I may add, basically, in a nutshell, this book is about, it's a book that demonstrates how a life can change when someone simply believes in God, in a dream, in the potential of a child. Yeah,
That's awesome. And faith has been a big part of your journey, and you've
it is.
described some very pivotal moments when God became real to you, especially considering your experiences growing up and being sponsored in World Vision. So can you describe how your faith's been a part and what have been some pivotal moments in your life?
Actually, I grew up in the church because of this whole sponsorship experience. It was my during my elementary years, and right from the get go, I'm part of children's church, Sunday school, and up until high school. And I only experienced that pivotal moment that you mentioned when I went to Saudi Arabia all by myself. At 22 years old, I went to Riyadh, basically in the Middle East, to work as an accountant in one of the banks. And I told myself, "Oh my gosh, this is it, Lord! I'm all by myself. I've been hearing about this power and trust and faith. It's me, and make it real for me. And that's what happened. I stayed there for 13 years, and we moved to Canada in 1997 with our three kids, and that's another journey. And all these years, I realized that God is with us, and we
Hmm.
just need to put our faith and trust and hope in Him, and the rest will follow.
Yeah, and you really see that in your book and through your stories of that really multiple moments of
Yes.
discovering more of who God is in your life. So thank you for sharing those stories. I know as I read it, it was very impactful to me. What was a challenge that maybe you faced in writing your autobiography?
That's a great question. I would say self doubt.
Mm,
That's my
yeah.
biggest problem. It's funny how it's ironic, right? The book is all about the power of believing, and here I am. I can't believe that I can be an author. But
Wow.
as I've said, it took me some time. Like for an accountant like me, I think rationally. I'm not a creative person from the get go. So, but writing is a passion, and I really love to share my story to the bigger audience. And so, yeah, I struggled so much. I remember since 2009, when I first shared my story to the rest of our World Vision colleagues, I already had that in mind. I want to write a book someday. And it took me so long to really push this project. And I'm so passionate about uh, I'm so happy that it happened last year. That's all.
That's great because you know what? It gives all of us hope that even in the midst of self doubt at times, God will use us and He does use us, that He has a purpose for each one of us. So
Amen.
thank you for sharing that story. Thank you for providing that hope to those who will read it. If you'd like more
Uh-huh.
information on Somebody Believes, visit 700club.ca. Well, thank you so much, Edgardo, for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me.